Hello there. So we now have health passes in place across the UK. So what's next? Yesterday, our elected representatives in the House of Commons voted by 369 votes to 126 to put a health pass system in place in England, so mirroring those in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. But what's your worry? It's only until midnight on the 26th of January. It's only for 6 weeks, so no harm, no long-term plans to keep health passes in place then, nothing to worry about, nothing to see here, move along. Well, I'll remind you that it was only 3 weeks to flatten the curve. But we're already hearing the usual scare stories from scientists and their modelling, leading to many politicians and media types calling for an instant hibernation for the nation. And now this evening, yes, this evening, the PM is due to give yet another of his emergency press conferences, all about the growing danger from Zero Mick and Ron, coupled with rumour of more stringent restrictions for Christmas. And now there is talk that we could see restrictions, i.e. the health pass, lifted on the 26th of January as planned. Could, not will, could. And as I pointed out yesterday, these health pass rules are written to persist. They are written to account for more doses per person and more frequently as they are needed into the future. They are written to account for the current doses coming out of emergency use authorisation and into full marketing authorisation, something that is not, as far as I can see, on the cards before the 26th of January when these new rules for England are meant to expire. But expiry dates can be extended again and again, just as we've seen before. No. Once Boris got that foot in the door from MPs yesterday, he now knows he can push harder and get more restrictions and extend the use of the health pass system further into the year. And some are saying that MPs will be recalled from their Christmas break so that new, harsher rules can be put in place before Christmas, if they're required. The only thing that might give the Prime Minister pause for thought on that one, oh yes, it's Boris that's behind this. Nothing can happen without the nod from him. But the only thing that might cause him to think again is the scale of the revolt from his own backbenchers last night. Nearly half the Tory backbenches voted against the introduction of the health pass, 99 of them, and several abstained. On a party basis, that completely wipes out Boris Johnson's 80-seat majority. And this comes despite Boris giving a pep talk to his backbenchers before the vote. And the only reason Boris got his health pass through was because the Labour opposition benches love dictatorial control and voted with the government. And in doing so they made it abundantly clear that they would rob us of even more freedoms had their hands been on the levers of power. So in reality that was 99 true Tories voting for freedom and the rest voting with the communist ideals of the Labour Party. As an aside, it was disappointing to see Sir Desmond Swayne speak so vehemently in the House against health passes and then fail to record a vote. And there were a couple of others like that too. Now, if those rebels really want to make a splash, they should all now troop into the office of the Tory 1922 committee chairman, Sir Graham Brady, who also voted against the pass system, and present him with their letters of no confidence in their leader Boris Johnson. It would only take 54 of those letters to trigger a vote of no confidence. Those MPs now need to press home and force the embarrassment of an internal Tory vote of no confidence on Boris Johnson, and get the leadership hopeful vultures circling in anticipation. And then make it clear that is what will happen every single time any Tory Prime Minister, whoever they are, tries to put through laws that encroach on our freedoms. But I doubt that will happen. Rock the boat, yeah, but don't tip it over. Party before individual freedoms. Something reinforced by the fact that the talk of there being a dozen or so junior ministers ready to resign their posts so they could vote against the health passes never came to anything. No ministerial resignations. They know which side their bread is buttered on. If they had resigned and cast a ballot, the vote would have been even more of a blow to the PM's standing. Although the treasurer of the 1922 committee, Sir Geoffrey Clifton Brown, did say after the vote that a leadership challenge could arise in the new year and that the PM would need to change his approach to fend it off. I think that's got to be on the cards. He's got to realise that he's got to change, he said. And the Telegraph says whips are working on the assumption that the letters of no confidence in Boris, lodged within Graham Brady's safe, are in the double figures already. But more importantly for the Tories are the upcoming by-elections, the first of which is tomorrow in the North Shropshire constituency due to the resignation of Owen Paterson over Lobbygate. The other is the seat of Southend West following the killing of David Amess, the date of which has yet to be decided. Tomorrow's result will be very telling. But despite the setbacks of the backbench rebellion last night, Wallpaper Gate, Lobbygate, Partygate, and plunging poll figures, the latest Opinion poll puts Labour on 41%, 9 points ahead of the Tories on 32%. But despite all this, Boris Johnson still somehow glides on. And he was in confident mood in the Commons today during PMQs, benefiting from a weak display from the Labour leader Keir Starmer, who somehow didn't manage to capture the moment. It was almost like winning the vote on health passes last night took the pressure off of the PM. Almost like he'd managed to meet a strict milestone in time. A milestone over which he himself had no control. A milestone dictated to him by a higher power. And as I said earlier, he now appears to have regained some wind in his sails after looking hard-pressed just recently. And that new wind might see him press home his health pass advantage and follow the Welsh and Scottish First Ministers into harsher measures very soon, even if the latest data doesn't warrant it. All to ensure our safety over the Christmas holidays, keeping us safely inside our homes, killing off the hospitality industry in the process. Let's see what Boris says at 5 p.m. tonight that is so pressing. And now there's another Tory casualty of the Christmas Partygate saga. But before I get onto that, I just want to say a massive thank you to all my Super Thanks Patreon and PayPal supporters, as well as those that do buy a mug with my mug on it. Links in the descriptions box below. You really do help me keep this channel going. So they were all at it, because news is now emerging that the Tory London Assembly member and former candidate for London Mayor, Sean Bailey, who ran Sadiq Khan so close in the last mayoral elections, is the latest to be caught out in the Christmas party, one rule for us and another rule for them debacle. And now that a picture has surfaced of him with 23 Tory staffers not observing social distancing last Christmas, he has been forced to stand down in his role as chair of the London Assembly Police and Crime Committee. Seemed such a straight-up kind of guy, so disappointing to hear he fell into the privileged trap. And on top of that, news is coming out that Downing Street party attendees were instructed to leave the premises quietly via the back door. Wonder why? But why is it that our elected reps and their hangers-on think they are immune from everything, including the rules? What is it that they know, or think they know, that the rest of us don't? So what's your opinion on more imminent restrictions? Please like and comment below. Please subscribe and like this video, buy a mug and support me on Patreon or PayPal, and thank you for watching.